Hey everyone, this is John from Friends of Your Benefits. Today we're going to talk about everyone's favorite topic, drugs. That is, prescription drugs. PBMs out there, also known as pharmacy benefits managers, often get a bad rap in the media, and allegedly they drive up the cost of drugs. And that's understandable because if you happen to use GoodRx or Mark Cuban's Costplusdrugs, you can often find that the drugs cost cheaper through those programs and paying cash as opposed to going through your health insurance. But I recently found out there is a way for you to actually have GoodRx count towards your deductible, which is really important if you happen to have a high deductible health plan like me. So Cigna has a brand new program out there with GoodRx that allows you to pay the lower of the Cigna negotiated rate or the rate that GoodRx happens to have with the particular pharmacy for generic medications. Now, how does this ultimately work, John? So starting next year in 2023, if your employer happens to turn on the GoodRx program, all you need to do is literally continue to go to your pharmacy as normal. And then if the pharmacy accepts GoodRx, you're going to pay the lower of the Cigna rate or the GoodRx price that they happen to have at that particular pharmacy. Okay, John, so why don't you give me an example? How does that actually work? So the great news is it's all going to happen in the background, but let's say that a generic medication that you're taking costs a bit more. Let's say it's about $100 per month. And let's say that the price through GoodRx happens to be $50. So what you're going to pay will be $50. And here's the kicker. If you're enrolled in a high deductible health plan, that $50 will actually count towards your deductible, which is definitely a home run for the member. Now, from an employer perspective, if you're considering turning this program on, you really need to go through the fine print and really understand how this works as it relates to your pharmacy contract out there. If you need help reviewing your pharmacy contract or would like to speak to a pharmacy consultant, feel free to drop me a DM and we'll get you in touch with one. Now, what about the other PBMs out there, John? So for me, we happen to use CVS as our health insurance or PBM. Now, CVS, as of right now, doesn't have a direct relationship out there with GoodRx, but they actually allow you to file your GoodRx claims online manually via a claim form. Now, it's not as seamless as Cigna's program out there, but if you do your due diligence and you go through the process and you fill out that online claims form, you'll definitely get credit for your deductible. Okay, John, so what about the Blue Cross plans out there? Well, as of right now, many of the Blue Cross plans do not accept GoodRx. However, some of them, such as Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield, is now partnering with Mark Cuban's Costplusdrugs. So what that means is if you happen to want to obtain your prescription through Costplusdrugs, Costplusdrugs is now in network with some of the Blue Cross plans, and that's another great option for you to check out to save potentially a lot of money on your prescription drugs. So we want to hear from you guys out there. What's your take on Cigna's new partnership with GoodRx? Comment below.